opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barber's Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack just like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Scott. Welcome to another edition. If I'm not going to hold you, man, it is Monday, May 12th, 2025. We got a jam-packed show for y'all today. This is going to be a little bit of an old school show today because the crew ain't here. Bang ain't here. Dante ain't here. Courtney ain't here. They ain't here. But Pav is here. He'll be joining us in just a minute. We're going to talk some NBA. Tosin will be joining us in hour 2 to be talking about to do soccer for dummies, man. We're gonna talk about everything that's been going on in the Premier League, Champions League final is set, and a whole bunch of transfer news that's already been coming out. But in the end of the show, we are going to do a NBA draft lottery live reaction. Watch party, I guess you want to say. Now, this is gonna be something we're gonna know how this night is gonna go for Bulls fans very, very quickly. And I'll explain that later on in the show. It might be a great moment for the Bulls, or it might be the world's shortest watch party. So we're going to see what happens tonight, man. But, of course, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Barber Chair Scott. You can follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on Twitter, Instagram, and really just Twitter and Instagram. We ain't know about, and YouTube. And then YouTube. And, of course, you can follow our partners, H&B Media, and at H&B Media TV, and at H&B Media on Instagram. And follow the show. I'm not going to hold you at INGHY show on Instagram. And while you're at it, subscribe to our Patreon, man. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can take your phone right up to the screen and you can scan the QR code and it'll take you to all 4 different tiers that we got on the network Patreon. And you subscribe to the $5 I'm not gonna hold you tier, or the $10 Holla the Barber's Chair All Access tier, where you get literally everything we offer on Patreon. You will get 20% off on your first order at the Barber's Chair Network shop. That is bcnetshop.com, and cop the new shirt we got out right now. 79th and Howlett shirt. It is the Caleb Williams / Game of Thrones influence shirt. You can get that right now, man. So big show on deck today. So right now I'm gonna bring in my guy Pavy, and you can follow Pavy at Pavy World on all social media platforms. Check out his new album, Bachelor Do, on all streaming platforms, man. Pav, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. I can't complain.
And also, if you want to send a super chat, please send a super chat. Help your boy out. But me and Pav had a nice debate as we came on the show. As we were talking about, Pav was trying to kill the little enthusiasm I do have for my second favorite team, which I don't think a lot of you know how much of a Bulls fan I am because they've been asked for so long. But He told me that he doesn't believe the Bulls are that important to the NBA. Now, I do agree with what, by the way, if you've been a fan of anything Barbershop, you know we've been arguing about this for at least 5-6 years.
Literally 5-6 years.
At least 5. I think the first time we argued about it was like on summer sessions. Now, I do agree from your original point that they're not a quote-unquote legacy team like they should be. But as far as importance to the league, I still disagree that I think this is at least a top 5 important franchise that even if you're bad, like I'm going to take the NFL. The NFL is better when the Raiders are good. The Raiders have been stanky for a long time. But the NFL is better when the Raiders are
pillars of like the Raiders are like pillars of like the AFL, bro.
Okay, so you don't think the Bulls are pillars of the NBA?
No. But honestly, they haven't even been. I think what was the first couple franchises was Lakers, Celtics, Knicks were there. I'm sure the Warriors were there because they were the Philadelphia Warriors. So the Sixers were there. Like they haven't even been around that long. They came a little bit later on.
Okay, so give me who your pillars of the NBA
are. Lakers, Celtics, Knicks, Lakers, Celtics, Knicks, Philly, and I guess the Warriors.
Okay, that's not a bad list. But I want to know why you don't. Why? So I mean, look, if you want to sell me on, even though I don't think the NBA is a better place when the Knicks are better, and that ain't got nothing to do with my Knicks hate. Do you? Why don't you feel the Bulls are better? The NBA ain't better when the Bulls play.
Because I think the Bulls got blessed with the Bulls have the greatest player that have ever put on the jersey in the NBA. But for the most part, that's it. They had 6 good years. They had like a decade. Now that decade was all time and great, but outside of that,
more than 6 good years, bro. They were good in the 80s. They didn't win a championship in the 80s. They made finals in the 80s.
Listen, they were good in the 80s. Okay, so they had 10 years from 88 to 98.
Okay, then you gotta add the
2 years in the early 2010s. 2 years.
You gotta add the D-Rose years.
2 years in, and then maybe the 2 years in like the early 70s when they went to the conference finals. But outside of that, there's nothing there. And I think that because of the way the NBA markets superstars, Michael Jordan is bigger than the Bulls franchise. But I don't think Magic Johnson is bigger than the Lakers. I
agree, but Michael Jordan's bigger than the NBA.
I agree with you. Okay. So that's why I think the Chicago Bulls are one thing and Michael Jordan is another thing. Like, yes, Jordan did play for the squad, but I think Michael Jordan is one thing and the Bulls are at this point a separate entity.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with any of those points. I'm just saying that when the Bulls actually have a good team, it helps the NBA out tremendously. You can't say it don't when they're already still top 3 in merchandise. They're number one in sales with jerseys all the time, and it's not just Jordan jerseys. I know you're gonna say
it's not just Jordan jerseys. No, not just Jordan jerseys, but how much of that shit is from the dynasty years? And again, yes, they are tops in attendance. Chicago is a basketball town. Obviously, like we love basketball in Chicago. You grow up playing it. Also, it is Chicago in the wintertime. I love Chicago. It ain't too much to do in the wintertime in Chicago because you can't even be outside.
You can say that about almost every city that isn't the West Coast. New York is the only cold city that you can say you can't do nothing, that you can do something.
But a bunch of those cities are basketball cities. Like they're basketball sports towns.
I just think the Bulls have been so bad that you forgot how buzzing it was when D-Rose was here. It was crap.
I remember how buzzing it was when D-Rose. Like I remember that. We loved it. And D-Rose, like, you know, his marketing campaign was great. Obviously, he was with Adidas. He was one of the most exciting players in the league. Like, I remember. It's just like when the Bulls fell off, nothing happened to the league.
Okay, look, but when I said this before we got on air, I think the only team that they're legit bad NBA suffers is the Lakers. I don't even think the Celtics are in that realm. I think if the Lakers have to be, it's like the Yankees. Major League Baseball needs the Yankees to be good. And I think the Dodgers are great, but the Dodgers had some down years. I think you need the Lakers to be good. That's the only team with me where the league suffers.
I think you
when
need
they're not. Bro. The league suffered when you had them swaggy P years.
No facts.
Like, that's what I think. I'm not saying the Bulls are, it's gonna be Lakers Celtics. No, I just think the NBA is a better place when the Bulls are relevant. And every time the Bulls last 3 playing games these niggas have had. especially last two at home. What is every announcer say? People forget how crack it is, how good it is in the city when the Bulls are good.
I mean, but like I think the league is better when the Pacers are good.
I don't. You know how I feel about small markets.
I feel you, but because of the rich basketball coach that Indiana has, I think the league is better when the team like the Pacers are good. I
Okay,
think
but they're not over the Bulls. You saying the Bulls only had 10 years? The Pacers ain't had none.
No, the Pacers have always had really good teams. They just haven't had.
Okay, but
if
you're gonna crown them for making the East Conference Finals like 4 times, you can't crap on the Bulls for winning championships.
Listen, no facts. I also think the league is better when Detroit is good. Like I think when you have but listen, I think you have when you have those franchises that are one basketball towns, like the culture really gets behind those squads. I think it's better when so I don't think the Bulls are some like extreme case where it's like, oh my God, they have to be good. Like, I don't think it.
Well, we're gonna end this. We got a lot to go. But what I'm saying, compared to the other teams in this lottery, and I don't want to hear about Philly because Philly don't deserve nothing after the way they didn't botch that rebuild. That is the second worst rebuild in sports history. The only rebuild that's worse is the White Sox rebuild. That is the second worst rebuild in sports history. They don't deserve nothing. San Antonio is a legendary franchise, but enough. You have enough, okay? You have, and right, exactly, in the chat. You can't say the Bulls only had 6 getting talk about the Pacers and Pistons. Like, you can't do that. But what I'm saying is this. Like, the Spurs are great, but they got back-to-back Rookie of the Years, and they had their time. They outside of the Lakers, they dominated the 2000s. Let them, they're fine with Wemby, Stephon Castle, and also I forgot De'Aaron Fox. They're fine. Leave them over there. We don't need Washington to have everything. That's a Commanders town anyway. They're fine. Jazz, no. We know Cooper Flag will be trying to lead in 4 years anyway. We don't need that.
I don't know about that, bro. He from Maine.
Bring him in.
Flag is from Maine, so he might not even care.
I get you, but even if you want the quality white women, it's more here in Chicago than it is in Utah. I will guarantee you that. That's all I'm saying. And by the way, I think the Bulls are getting picked 13. I don't think this watch party we having is going to be long at all because I never get what I want, and I don't even think we need top. If we top 3, top 4, I will be a happy fan at the end of this night. But speaking of the Bulls, let's talk about Michael Jeffrey Jordan. The NBA is NBC is getting ready for their rollout of NBA on NBC, returning to the network for the first time in 23 years. And they had a massive announcement this morning. I had to do a double check. I thought I was getting sent-tailed. They announced that the GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, will be a special contributor to the NBA on NBC. Now, we don't know exactly what special contributor means. It'll be some where he pops up a couple times a season like Peyton Manning did originally before they had the Manning cast, or if he's going to be somebody you see every week. That is yet to be confirmed. As you can see right here on the screen, this goes with the full NBA team, NBC team. You got special contributor Michael Jordan. The game analysis are going to be Jamal Crawford and Reggie Miller. Studio analysis will be Carmelo Anthony. Play-by-play will be Mike Tirico and Noah Eagle. And that's going to be really, really interesting, man. Just my thoughts. He said they gave Mike Brady money. That's the question. We don't know the money that they gave him. Mike is worth $3.5 billion. So whatever check they gave him, I'm pretty sure is not something that he needed. It sounds like something he actually wanted to do. It sparked funny conversation on Twitter this morning. Everybody trying to figure out what he would say. I think this is a dope thing for the NBA. A dope thing for NBA on NBC marking their return. And I think the number one thing that's been lacking in the ESPN coverage, and I'd even say the TNT coverage a little bit, as much as I like inside the NBA, where I feel like the NBC coverage, and I'm not saying with like Michael Jordan specifically, I don't really know what Mike's going to bring to the table, but I just think that their coverage is going to be what the NBA needs for those people who are feeding for actual basketball knowledge. Like, I love Inside the NBA. I don't watch that for basketball knowledge. I watch it to watch 4 unks play, mini golf at 1 a.m. in the morning after they done talk about games. So that's what I watch for entertainment value. There's nothing on ESPN to me that matches that. NBA Today is cool, but I think it comes on too early in the day for me to even remember it's a thing. And I think they're going to try to get in the same range as like an NFL or Major League Baseball when it comes to actually talking about the game. And I love what NBC's got. But for Michael Jordan, this is kind of weird because Mike never actually talks So that's what's weird to me. Pat, what'd you think about this announcement, and what do you think Mike's gonna bring to the table?
I think it's dope. Number one, Mike not low. Especially with the conversations about I think the younger generation, because again, the last time he put on a Bulls jersey was in '98. Shit, I'm not trying to do the exact math, but that's like 26 years ago. Meaning like you have a whole bunch
27 years ago.
Yeah, meaning you have a whole generation of people who never saw the man play. So like, even when people talk about the GOAT conversation, things of that nature, like and outside of like the Last Dance, probably a bunch of people never heard Mike talk before. Like never heard the man give a legit interview. Like he's been more of a meme with the Jordan cry face and with his shoes, like more of a figure than like an actual human being. So I think it'll be dope to just hear Mike talk. Like out of the past couple of years, he had the one interview that he gave the I think it was like a cigar lounge, and then he had the Last Dance. And then I think the last time I heard him
he
talk,
had that Fox
he got a cigar.
Nah, that wasn't Fox. He had that interview with Steph Curry. It was TNT interview with Steph Curry.
You're right. Steph Curry interview, the thing he did with the cigar thing, and you got to go back maybe to his Hall of Fame announcement, the last time you heard the man speak. So the fact that the man, doesn't speak, and I would love to hear what Mike got to say. Like, who wouldn't want to hear what Michael Jordan got to say about basketball? Like, I would love to hear what Michael Jordan's opinion is on Game 4 of XYZ. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think it would be dope to get his commentary on the younger generation of players. And yeah, man, I woke up and saw that, just like, yo, that's a great thing, dope idea. I think it's a great for the game of basketball. And anytime that you can have your legends much more involved with the sport in a positive way, I think it's a great thing. So yeah.
Yeah, and people can say whatever they want to say about Tom Brady. I think that I'm definitely one of the few people who thought Tom Brady wasn't that bad last year in the booth. I think when he started, he was really, really bad. Obviously, Mike's not going to be calling games like Brady. But one thing I love to hear about Brady is who don't want to hear Tom Brady talk about football. Like there was one play, I think it was Bears Packers. I think it was like week 8 or something like that. The Bears lost, but it was the game the Bears should have won. Kalen marched them down the field, and then they missed the field goal. But he threw this 4th down pass to Roma Dunes, and you heard Tom Brady actually he got excited. And then he was explaining why the play was great. I want to hear Michael Jordan talk about this new generation and say, oh, I like what he's doing there, like what he's doing there. And I don't think Mike's going to criticize these kids like we think. Maybe he is. I think Stephen A. said on First Take today, are we going to get Michael Jordan, brand Michael Jordan, or are we going to get the Michael Jordan that we know? Because we get the Michael Jordan that we know, that he said it's going to be a different thing. And that's going to be something I'm interested to see. And if you're a player, it's going to hit different if Michael Jordan says you need to work on this compared to like a Kendrick Perkins. There's no disrespect to him or nothing like that, but I do think it'll be great for the game. And like I do think it has something to do with kind of introducing the younger generation because it's been a long time. When Mike retired from the Bulls, I was 10 years old. When Mike retired from the NBA, I was 15. And a lot of these kids were just being born. Like people who were like, shout out our super producer, Nikhil. Nikhil was born the year that Michael Jordan retired from the NBA. So a lot of people, this will be their introduction to him. Now, shout out Bang. Bang put this in a group chat. This is what I do think is going to happen. I do think LeBron's going to announce he's going to retire this year. And I think they're going to have a one-on-one interview with LeBron and Michael Jordan. That, to me, would do stupid numbers. Kind of like how when Mike retired and he had like a Ahmad Rashad sit down with him, had the two best players of all time, depending on what seat you sit on, who's the best. And there's no friction between the two, obviously, as we saw at the All-Star game a couple years ago. That'd be a dope interview. But I'm just excited for the whole thing. And I do a double take because Mike usually don't do stuff like that. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how that's going to go, man. But let's get into the current players. Let's talk about Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo, man. It is officially the summer of Giannis. As you see this tweet right here on the screen from Shams of ESPN, he says, two-time NBA MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo has not made any firm decisions, but the first time in his career, he is open-minded about whether his best fit is remaining in Milwaukee or playing elsewhere, league sources have told ESPN. Now, there was also something that came from NBA, a reporter who works with Forbes, said that he wants to pair up with another all-star teammate. Now, Pat, we've been talking about this for weeks, about how difficult this trade is going to be in general because of the kind of player that Giannis is, the kind of contract he has, and just the kind of way he plays the game in his age. But now you add to the fact that allegedly he wants to play with an all-star. That limits even more of the places that he could possibly go. And I'm trying to think of anybody who will be available right now. But I think it's going to be a very difficult trade. I think that this sounds funny, but I don't think you could ever take the Warriors out of something like this. I don't know who they would trade because that bench is terrible, in my opinion. I think that Pajinski and Moody and Kuminga are responsible for 85% of the opposing team's runs. So I don't know what they're going to give up to get it, but I do believe they would try to make a move to try to add him with a Jimmy Butler and a Steph Curry to see how that would work. What do you think about this? And this is going to be something we're going to talk about for the next couple of months till, July hits when the new year league starts. What do you think he could go?
I mean, all I know is please don't let him go to San Antonio. Like, just don't let it be San Antonio. And I'm only saying that because, like, it would just be defensively not fair. I think Wemby will probably never become the offensive player that he needs to become because he's basically going to be a small forward, but it wouldn't even matter. Like, defensively, that would just be not fair. And they have the assets. Like, we were just talking about the draft lottery. Like, what if they get the number one pick? You could pair the number one pick. You could pair some other assets, some other draft picks, and send it back to Milwaukee. The thing about that deal is, like, Milwaukee needs assets back. They need young players and future assets, right? So I think the thing with the Warriors would be hard because, like, what you going to trade? Draymond Green or Jimmy Butler? What am I going to do with that? Like, that would have to be a 3-team scenario where you, like, reroute one of them somewhere else because the thing about Milwaukee, they have no assets. They have no future draft picks. Obviously, you still have Dame Lillard, but Dame, like, you can't even trade Dame right now. Dame has a torn Achilles.
Yeah,
he's not going to be back.
Yeah.
And, like, look, man, like, God bless Dame because it wasn't this way when he signed it, but that contract, the worst contract in the NBA right now. He going to be making $62 million.
I don't know, Bradley Beal.
Yeah, but I think Bradley Beal is done this year.
Is it?
Dame got next year and a player option.
Ooh.
He got an option. I think Bradley is done this year. And at least Bradley has the option of being on the basketball court. Dame Lillard's going to be making $62 million and not going to be on the basketball court. Then he has a player option for the year after that. So for Giannis, like I said, I think the Bucks should be calling him like, hey, we want to trade you. Again, he's 30 years old now. Like, I think athletically, we've probably seen the best of Giannis. I think that, we had an argument about this on summer sessions. I think that it's probably time for Giannis to, like, change his game a little bit. Not to say that, he isn't great at doing what he does, but I think it's probably time for him to change his game a little bit and be a little bit more off ball. So wherever he is, I would like to see him paired with, like, an actual point guard for once, like a genuine point guard. So, and I think a couple of teams to watch would be one, what happens with the Thunder, right? Like, if the Thunder go out here, let's say they lose these next two games to the Nuggets, that might be a team like, yo, you lost in the semifinals 2 years in a row. You got a lot of young assets. You have a lot of picks. You could swing together a whatever the hell type of deal. And the thing about the Thunder is you got to start paying people at a certain point. Chet gonna want $200 million. Jalen gonna want $200 million. Carson Wilder's gonna want his bread. Caruso got his bread. I think Aaron Wiggins got a deal that's like a team-friendly deal. But a lot of guys on that squad gonna want their money, and they gonna have reason to get some money. So it probably would behoove you to make a deal just to, like, ship some things out and just bring one guy in. So I think it'll be very, very interesting. But like I said, I think the train has run its course in Milwaukee, and it was, again, great run, a great all-time run as far as one player goes with the franchise. Outside of what Kareem and Oscar Robertson, he's one of the best players in that franchise history. If you told me he was over those guys, I wouldn't be mad at you. So yeah, man, that's what I think about it.
Yeah, I definitely think, and no disrespect to Kareem and Big O, but when I think of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, first thing comes to my mind is the Lakers. And then obviously Big O was great, but to me he's the best. He's the best Buck. And like you said, yeah, him in San Antonio would be ridiculous. And I think that if it was anybody else, they'd be like, why would I want to live in San Antonio? But honestly, Giannis. I can see Giannis in San Antonio.
San Antonio, like, I know what we think about San An, but this is not the same San An from, like, 1998. Like, I think it's the 10th biggest city in the U.S. now. I'm sure there's, like, a lot of development property. He's got Google.
It's 10th already.
Yeah, 10th biggest city. He got fucking Google's worth of money. I don't know what's in his portfolio, but it's Texas. You get into tech, you can get to a bunch of things going out there doing that. So I don't think like San Antonio is the same.
Tex.
Yeah, So you get to keep more of your bread. Like, I don't think San Antonio is the same type of state that we used to think of, well, city that we used to think of it as growing up.
Yeah, this is gonna be something I feel like it's gonna go through the summer. It's such a difficult thing such difficult trade to put together. It's not something I'm expecting until probably in the summer league, maybe happen. And I think it's probably gonna be a random team that we ain't thinking about. I think the way that this draft lottery is gonna play out tonight is gonna really, really show us some things. I found it interesting that Brian Windhorst said today, don't rule the Pelicans out of Giannis. And he said, don't rule the Pelicans out. Now that don't mean that I mean, I understand it. I'm just trying to see what
understand it.
Well, I understand it from New Orleans' perspective. Like, you're just trying to get something. Giannis, but see, this is why I think it's worth, because Giannis and worse, top 3 player in the league right now?
Yeah,
what
but
would
like
you rank Giannis? Top 3, worse?
Yeah, like top 3. But the problem with that is you're gonna have the Bucks again. You're gonna have to give up so much to get Giannis that you're just gonna be playing with the Bucks again in a tougher conference.
That's true, but for the Pelicans, it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth it for Giannis. Like, that's why it's difficult. Where is Giannis gonna go where he legitimately feels like he has a better chance winning here? And I see my cousin put in the chats, don't let Giannis go to the Lakers. There's no and look, Lakers ain't getting 2 things off.
Also, how many years does Giannis have left on the deal? I think it's 2-3 years.
That's interesting. I'm gonna Google it right now.
He don't really have a say so. Like, if you're gonna be there for 2-3 years, you don't really got to say so.
Yeah, if I'm the Bucks, I'm going to wherever I can
get the best deal.
So Giannis has he's got a player option next year. So he's got 1 more year on this deal. No, 2 more years on this deal. Next season, a year after that. So after 2027, 2028, he has a player option. 28, 29, he's an unrestricted free agent.
Wait. So 27, 28, he has a player option.
So yeah, next season is his full season before, like, really has 2 more seasons, right? 2 more seasons, because he has a player option for 27, 28. So next season.
So if he picks up the option, he got 3 years left on his deal.
No, if he picks up the option, he just has that year, is what I'm saying. So his total contract is 2 more seasons.
So he has 2 more seasons. Fair. So you gotta kind of like fair.
But if he stayed with the Bucks, he could leave after next season with nothing, and Bucks get nothing. Fair. If he has a player option. So that would be interesting. That's gonna be a story that we're gonna be following all summer. It's not gonna be the first time we talk about this, man. Let's get to the actual playoffs as we getting ready for a doubleheader tonight. You got Knicks, Celtics, and you got Warriors, Wolves in Oakland, not Oakland. Them niggas San Francisco. But let's talk about last night. Last night, the Indiana Pacers won 129-100 over the Cleveland Cavaliers, take commanding 3-1 lead. The Cavs just got punched in the mouth. 61 combined points from Pascal Siakam, Obi Toppin, and Miles Turner. It was an absolute drumming, and this is a game where Tyrese Halliburton only had 11 points, but they didn't need him. This is just something where the Cavs just look outmatched from the jump. I expected the Cavs to come out with that energy of being desperate, especially after winning game 3, thinking we can tie this up, we can head back to the crib, and we can pull this thing back in our favor. The Pacers came out right away and did not let them to even get their feet in it. Now, that score, 129-100, does not tell the story. That game was not that close. This team put up 80 points in the first half. This was a 41-point lead at one point. And to me, I'm just very impressed with the Pacers. Me and Pat, we've been talking about this since the playoffs started. The Pacers have only lost 16 games since the year has hit January. And this is including the playoffs. They have been extremely well coached. The defense has been great. Last year when they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, it kind of felt like a little bit of a fluke run a little bit. This looks like they're prepared. They learned from their mistakes last year, and they're ready to go. I think that on paper right now, the way that everybody's been playing, they're the best team in the East. And it would not surprise me if they are in the NBA Finals. The Pacers have only been to the NBA Finals one other time, and that was in 2000 when they lost to the Los Angeles Lakers. Pat, what do you think about the Pacers' run? How the Cavs been playing, and do you think that they should be the favorite to make it to the NBA Finals like these?
I mean, I think obviously the Pacers have been playing incredible. It's been a full team effort. That's the biggest thing for me. It's been a full team effort consistently. Like you said, like it's not like Halliburton going out there and being Superman. Halliburton is doing his thing, but Siakam is having moments. Miles Turner was incredible yesterday. Neesmith has been one of the best perimeter defenders in the playoffs. Nembhard has been great. Obi Toppin has been great. Benedict Matt. I mean, I know he got ejected yesterday, but it didn't even matter. Just they have a total team effort. And again, don't count out Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle is a championship coach. I think he's been to at least 2 finals, if I'm like not mistaken about it. I think
he won.
Or is it just one?
He won. No, he won 06 and 11. 06
Yeah.
they lost, and then the 11 they beat the
Yeah. So Rick Carlisle has been a part of some great teams. He's a championship coach. He's a veteran. He's been around. And again, they've came into the playoffs healthy. Like we said, they lost 16 games since the year started. And Cleveland, they kind of stumbled back into the playoffs, right? Like obviously Garland is hurt. Evan Mobley sprained his ankle. I also think that maybe Cleveland, they shouldn't have lost game 2. I think giving away game 2 the way they gave away game 2, because now this would be a 2-2 series heading back to Cleveland for, I think you're heading back to Cleveland for game 5. And I think they put a lot on Donovan. Like Donovan put his cape on trying to be Superman. And I think it kind of wore him out a little bit. We'll see about his status for game 5. He had the ankle. I wonder if it was a closer game. Yeah, you're right. It was A.B. Johnson, but he was really good.
You're right. That was
right.
A.B. Johnson was no 6, yeah. But he won in 2011.
Yes, and Rick Carlisle was also really good with the Pacers. I think he was with the Pacers, or was it the Pistons?
He's with the Pacers, but he was the Pacers after the Pistons.
Yeah,
but the Pistons fired him for Larry Brown after they made these conference finals and lost to the Nets.
Yeah. Either way, he's been a part of winning for a very long time. But yeah, so I think they put a lot on Donovan, and Donovan is kind of he might be breaking down a little bit. Obviously, like he was out the other night with the ankle after halftime. I wonder if that game was closer, would he have played? But I don't think that all is completely lost for Cleveland yet. They just got to literally take it one game at a time. Like as long as they can just play game, I mean, obviously game 5 season online, but literally come out with the urgency, win game 5. You get to game 6. If Indiana lose that game 6 and they go back to game 7 for Cleveland, I don't know. So I don't think all is lost for them. I think that game 6 is Indiana's game 7 because if they can take it there. But either way, I don't think all is lost for them. And even if Cleveland does lose this series, the way they lost it sucks. But I would hope management wouldn't overreact too much. You can rationalize being hurt.
You can rationalize being hurt. You can rationalize being hurt for sure, but they've been getting banged on, bro.
I mean, the way that they lost the other game, again, I think they thought that they found something with the zone that they ran. Clearly, it didn't in game 4. They didn't find anything because they were just a whole bunch of open shots. Everybody open. Miles Turner hitting step back threes. But at the same time, if Darius Garland really got a toe issue that would keep him out for 2 weeks, but he's playing and gutting through it. Evan Mobley legit got an ankle issue. I think DeAndre Hunter, sprained his wrist or something like that. So, like, if these guys are actually banged up the way that they say they are, you can rationalize losing like this, but you cannot rationalize the effort that they played with in game 4. I think that was the more alarming thing, the fact that they didn't have a sense of urgency in game 4.
Yeah, and I also think, too, I feel like they're really relishing in the underdog thing. Like, the Pacers have never been a light team. Like, I think the most like Pacers team was probably the Mountains in the Palace team. Because they had Ron Artest, had Jermaine O'Neal. Even though people didn't like Reggie Miller, it was Reggie's last year. And I think a lot of people wanted Reggie to get that ring. And that, to me, on paper, was the best Pacers team I've ever seen. Like, that Pacers team, to me, I think, who won a championship in 05? It was the Spurs. I think that would have been a really, really good series.
And Ron Artest would have won MVP.
Yeah, like that was Steven Jackson was on that team.
Ron Artest was balling before he went in stage.
Like MVP level stuff.
Like literally. Just look at the games before.
Yeah, he was hooping. So I think that this is a team that people don't like Tyrese Halliburton. They don't want to admit he's a hooper. But I think the Siakam, you're now seeing what Siakam is bringing. He's giving me vibes of 2019 Siakam. I really, really like this team. If they can stay healthy. Because I believe last year the East Conference Finals would have went longer if Tyrese Halliburton didn't get hurt. I don't think the Celtics just beat them.
If we look at how they lost every game, they lost every game down the stretch. Like, it wasn't like they would just came out there and got bludgeoned. They lost every game down the stretch. So
you are correct, man. Let's go to last night's not last, but first game that started yesterday, man. That is Nuggets and OKC Game 4. This was a very, very close game. This whole series in general has been great. Thunder won a very close one, 92-87. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wasn't the best, wasn't the most flashy game, but he got the job done. Had 25.6 rebounds, 6 assists. He had 9 of his team's last 25 points. The others really stepped up, man. They got great production off the bench, over 31 points off the bench from Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins, and Cason Wallace as well, man. So it was a big game for them. The story for me here has been Jokic. Like, Joker is not having a good series. He looks exhausted, and it might sound like I'm giving excuses for him. I know Joker to me is a very hated player on the internet because I feel like people don't like he's getting the credit that he's getting because he's European. Like, if Joker was black, we would be having very uncomfortable conversations right now about where he is in the history of all-time centers. Like, I seen a nigga tweet last night, name 5 great performances by Joker in the playoffs. I'm like, did you miss the entire 2022-2023 playoffs, my nigga? Like, so it's just, I'm not trying to give him a pass, but it's also at the same time he does look tired. Now, I don't think it's just tired. I think that the Thunder are doing a really good job defending him. I haven't seen him have a second in the hole when it ain't 3 bodies in front of him. So I think that they're doing a real good job defending him, but I really can't predict this series anymore. To me, it's a best of 3. It's anybody's series at this point. Like, the Nuggets look, great 1 minute. Then they do stuff like last night. If they make their free throws, they win that game by like 3 or 4 points. They missed so many free throws. I think both MVP. I agree with that. 100%. I agree with both MVP. I think Shai's been a little disappointed.
I disagree.
You think it's better. You think he's been disappointed, or it just hasn't been flashy?
I mean, I don't think it's been flash. Like, last night, I thought he played a great game. Like, I thought that he did what he needed to do to win the game. Granted, did he have like a 40-point game? No, but it wasn't about that. Like, they're doing a good job defending him. He was making the right play when he should have made the right plays. I think in the fourth quarter, he scored 9 or 10 points or something like that in the fourth. Like, he's been doing his job. 9 of the 25
I
think that game 3 was like lackluster, but I think game 3 was lackluster for all of them. So no, I think Shai's been doing his job. I think Jokic, I think it's been tough on him. Obviously, he hasn't been shooting the ball the best, but they're doing a really good job defending him. And also, the thing about that is, like, he ain't really, which is why I've been raving about, he ain't really got that much help. Like, yes, Aaron Gordon, shout out Aaron Gordon, bro. Aaron Gordon has played.
Aaron Gordon is having a career year, but you're right. It's only Aaron Gordon.
Yes, like, Aaron Gordon has been playing like an all-star pretty much this whole playoff run. But Jamal Murray, like, I mean, we ain't been getting them crazy Jamal Murray games. Michael Porter Jr. literally can't lift his shoulder above his arm, like his left shoulder. So I don't even know how he's playing basketball right now. The bench ain't really giving you nothing. Like, Jokic got to give you everything, and the Thunder are a team that they get up and down the court. They play fast. So I got to go out there and get 13 points. I got to get 15 boards. I got to get 10 assists, and I got to play defense, and they put me in everything. Like, it's only so much, you know what I'm saying, that one man can do. So, but having said that, it's still a 2-2 series, and I don't know what's going to happen. But I do think that OKC grew up yesterday, because there was a point in that third quarter. There was a point in that third quarter in which I'm like, okay, we about to go up 3-1.
Could have ran away from them. Yeah.
We about to go up 3-1, and it's going to be a whole another conversation. But Caruso played incredible. I thought Caruso changed the game. He earned his contract money last night. He changed the game. Carson Wallace was good. Harkison has been good. Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, not the star lineup one, the big Jalen Williams. Yeah, J-Dub has been a good bench defender for Jokic. And again, the other Jalen Williams, he hasn't really had a good series yet. So if he can get going, they can maybe take this in 6 games and we don't even go 7. But I definitely think OKC grew up yesterday, and to me that showed me something, and that's why I thought that Shai played good yesterday.
I think they grew up, but I think the real grow up moment is going to be Game 5. I think somebody, I think it was Jalen Rose said this on TNT last night. This is the same position they were in last year, with being 2-2. Heading home, going up against a generational talent in Luka last year. And it did not work well for him. Luka and Kyrie had a great game in the fourth quarter, was able to steal Game 5, and then close it out at the crib. So this is going to be very important, because I always say, and we've seen it in this series, we see it time and time again. We've been seeing it with the Warriors for years. We see it with LeBron. Never, in the words of Rudy Tomjanovich, never underestimate the heart of a champion. They're going to find something that will be able to push them. I think Game 5, I'm not going to say the winner of Game 5 wins the series because to me, this is still unpredictable. I think we're on the road to 7. Like, this just smells like 7 to me. But I do believe in this game, we saw something from OKC that a lot of people question. What are you going to do when Jay Will isn't playing that well, or or you're not getting that much help from the starting lineup? Because to me, this is a Shea and the others game yesterday. They took advantage of the mistakes that the Nuggets made, and that was a big time thing because I think they could have won Game 3. They made young mistakes. I won't say childish, young mistakes in Game 3 that led to them losing. But to me, this is the best series. I think Knicks Celtics still has the potential to be the best series if it ends the way I think it will end. But this has been entertaining, man. But let's go to Knicks and Celtics. I'm watching ESPN right now. I can see Will Bond over here with Hannah Storm is there at the Garden. Man, big egg. I wouldn't say egg lay. This is how the Knicks been playing this series. Like, I know Knicks fans don't want to hear this, but let's be real. And I think some of them know this deep down inside. Y'all ain't supposed to be here. Like,
let's blow out every game.
Let's keep it all the way real. You know what I'm saying? You've been getting blown out every game of this series. The Celtics just couldn't keep the lead. And I think Jason Tatum said it best when I think it was Lisa Salters asked him after Game 3. So what was different now? He was like, we made our shots. Because if you look at it, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown still ain't played good in Game 3. Like I think they said Jason Tatum is shooting 32% overall.
That's what Jason Tatum do, bro.
Yeah, but 32 is nasty. 32 is disgusting.
Do you remember the finals run? When if he would have even played regular bad.
I remember.
If he would have played regular bad. If he would have played regular bad, they would have won the series. He was generationally awful.
Yeah, he was. He let in the finals. He let Wiggins look like Rodman, bro. Like it was terrible.
He shot 31% from the field.
Bro, that's what he's shooting right now.
It's just Jason Tatum, bro.
Like Jaylen Brown is shooting 35% from 3, but Jason Tatum was shooting 32%. Period. And has there been a worse time for that Superman commercial to come out? I was like, oh, this is god awful time. Like, what is going on here? I think tonight this is the winner of the series. The winner of this game wins the series tonight. Like, to me, for the Knicks, obviously for the Celtics, because you don't want to go down 3-1, but they're still heading home. If the Knicks want any chance to win this series, they have to win tonight. If they lose tonight, it's over. It's over. If they lose, they have to win tonight. And having said all that, I do not think they're going to win tonight. I think that the Celtics are winning tonight. I think you're going to actually get a good game from either Tatum or Brown, because that was the Peyton Pritchard game in Game 3. That wasn't the two Jays. It was one of them. If I had to bet which of the Jays is going to show up, one with Brown, because he's usually the one who does. But this is going to be a heartbreaking series loss, in my opinion, for the Knicks. What do you think about this series and where it's going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think falling down 20 every game and having to come back is a great strategy for winning a playoff series. I think that the first 2 games were more about what the Celtics didn't do than what the Knicks did do. You missed 75 threes in 2 games. Like, you're not supposed to miss 75 threes in 2 games. That was something historic that they did. Like, they did something that has never been done in NBA history. And they still almost won those games. Like, they were missing all those threes and still found a way to be up 20. So all you got to do is keep the lead, win the game, and make the right plays to not give up a 20-point lead. Jalen Brunson is not having the best series. Granted, I know down the stretch, in certain moments, he's been good down the stretch. He's still shooting like 38%. Ain't like he out there lighting it up. I know last game he was better, but ain't like he out there lighting it up. And then, like you said, Jaylen Brown ain't played good, and Jason Tatum ain't played good either. And KP half dead. I don't know what type of illness KP got, but KP out there half dead. I would expect for those guys to play better. And yeah, I think that they'll win 4 straight games and win this series and, fight through, I guess, whatever adversity that they were facing. Because if they lose this series, it's legit just stupid. Like, they shouldn't lose this series. They shouldn't have been down to it.
Also, now is it just stupid? It's the same thing you said about OKC. That's going to be some money going to get moved around. Yeah,
no, for sure. I mean, it might be some money getting moved around this offseason regardless, because I think this team is the
they
most
got new ownership
team.
now.
No, but I also think it's the most expensive team in NBA history. Like, I think if their bill, look at it, it's the most expensive.
How much is Jaylen Brown making? $275 million or something like that?
$300 million.
So Pope will make $300 million.
Basically. And KP getting money. Holiday getting money. I think it's the most expensive team ever. So if you do lose this series, some shit might get shuffled around this offseason. And they would have reason
correct
to
me if
shuffle
I'm
around.
wrong. They're still paying Ime, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they're still paying Ime.
I'm pretty sure they're still paying Ime. Like, and I think I'm with you. I think this need to admit that KP got long COVID. Like, let's cut the bullshit. Like, I think he got long COVID, bro. Like, that's the yeah. Marley, he's been half dead, but he got I don't know. It sounds like he got long COVID, bro.
Something going on with that man.
Like. Because if a doctor talking about we don't know what it is, that sounds like long COVID to me, bro. But let's go to the final game we're gonna talk about, man, and I'm gonna get into some of these NFL schedule leaks. We've got Tosin joining us in about 20 minutes to talk some soccer before I do my live and NBA draft lottery reaction, man. But we got Warriors Thunder game 4 tonight, man. I tweeted something on Saturday, I think it was last time these niggas played. I said I've been disappointed in Minnesota because I thought they should run away with it without Steph. And you said that you disagree with that. Why do you think that this series is the way it is?
I mean, because the Warriors can still play good defense, right? Like they can still do things to keep the games close. You still do have Jimmy Butler, who's probably a future Hall of Famer. You still have Draymond Green, who's a agitator, and just there's still a lot of wild cards with Minnesota, right? Like Ant, right? Like Ant hasn't been that great all playoffs. Like he's been solid. He's definitely had some moments, but he hasn't been that great all playoffs. Rudy, I love Rudy, but like ain't like Rudy going out there and give you 20 and 10 every single night. Like, you know, he's definitely a deterrent and, you know, and a really good rim protector, but that's that. And Randall is still like an X factor. Granted, Randall had a triple double. I actually think, and I even said before the series starts, I think this series is more about what is Julius Randall going to do. Like, Ant's probably going to have those streaky games because of the fact he shoots a lot of threes. He's decided that he wants to shoot threes, right? And I mean, he made, I think, the most threes that he ever made. No, I think he led the league in threes this year. But he shoots a lot of threes. And when you get in the playoff series, you get tired legs. Sometimes you're going to miss those shots. So to me, it was about, can Randall be consistently good every single night? And that's why I didn't think that this series was a foregone conclusion, regardless of whether Steph was there or not. As long as it wasn't like an injury that he was never going to come back from, right? Like they say he can come back in game 6. The Timberwolves better do everything they can do to not let it get to a game 6. Because if this series goes longer, I'm going to go with the Warriors and the guys who've been there before and that have done it. Having said that, I'm going to pick the Timberwolves to go up 3-1 tonight.
Yeah, I'm going the other way. I think the Warriors find a way tonight. Would not shock me if the Wolves win. The Wolves should win. But veteran teams, man, they're at the crib. I think a lot of that they could have won game 3. I think when Draymond got not ejected, but fouled out, they didn't know what to do after that. Jimmy did what Jimmy could do. Jimmy had like 35 points or something like that. But they're gonna need some more. And actually, Kuminga. Let's think about Kuminga. Kuminga had a good game, but he made some bozo decisions towards the end of that game. I don't know how they're gonna win it, but I do think they're gonna find a way to win today. And I'm with, you know what I'm saying? I'm with you when it says you don't want this to get to a game 6 with Steph Curry, because with us in the chat. So I love to see Warriors playing from the if game by injury. So that's the most overrated thing ever. 12 Kawhi.
You would have won like 6 games though.
Okay, still would have lost. Like, and by the way, you can play if with everything, not just sports, in life. In life, if I was born to a rich family, I wouldn't be doing this right now. So you can use that with anything, man. But yeah, man. So that's all we got on the NBA front, man. Pav, man, you got a lot of stuff out right now. You got more coming, man. Let the people know about all your music you got out right now.
Yeah, man. So my new album, Back to the Dough, is out right now, man. Go check that out. The lyrics should be up on Spotify this week as well. It's a bunch of content coming out as well, just about how some of the songs got made. My inspiration for certain things on the album. So yeah, streaming really well. Almost at 20K for the month on Spotify. So yeah, keep playing that. Hope you guys enjoy it. And if you haven't heard it, I hope you go play it to enjoy it. And yeah, there'll be new music on the way after that. After this as well, so look out for all of that. And if you, like I said, if you've heard it, thank you. Thank you. And if you haven't, what are you waiting on? Go play it. So yeah.
Yes, sir, Pav. We'll holler at you on summer session on Wednesday, man.
My man.
We'll holler at you. All right. Let's get into some NFL, which is the main thing we cover on this show. This is an NFL program 80% of the time. The NFL schedule week, man. This is how you know that we're obsessed with NFL in this country because we're getting excited about games we're not going to see for the next 4+ months. But today they announced the first game of the season, announced the first international game of the season, and we got 3 different NFL on Fox games, man. So let's start with the opening game of the season. We have the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will be hosting their bitter-hated rival, Dakota Rain Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and new Dallas Cowboy George Pickens will be hosting on the season over, man, as they'll be getting their banners up in the air, man. That's going to be a very good game. I don't know about a good game. Let me question that. Eagles Cowboys games are always decent. I would prefer for the Commanders to come week 1 and have a rematch in the NFC Championship, even though they're going to be playing later in the season. We'll get to that in a minute. But I think just from the hate factor, it's going to be entertaining as well. And for the Cowboys, man, Jerry Jones is going to have to see another division rival put up another banner, the second one in 8 seasons. That should make him want to vomit. But I think that's a good opener for the season. That is Thursday, September 4th on Thursday night football special edition, I guess, since it's on NBC. Second one, the first of 7, that first of 10 international games this year. I keep telling y'all that international division is coming soon. You got Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers taking on Patrick Mahomes, new cut Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now, last year, the game was the Eagles and it was the Packers, and that game was on Peacock. This year, this game will be on YouTube TV. But for those of you about to complain, I ain't got YouTube TV. I'm one of them. I ain't got YouTube TV either. I'm old school. I ain't cut the cord. I still got cable. But it will be free on YouTube TV. So that's a good thing for us to look out for that. It's going to be one of 10 international games that we have this season. Now, we got the first holiday game that was announced today. My Chicago Bears will be heading to Philadelphia on Black Friday for the Black Friday game on Amazon. Now, this hasn't been 100% confirmed yet. But this is from NFL. They have been 100% on all the leaks for the schedules the last couple years. So this will be the Black Friday game. So this tells me I will be probably spending Thanksgiving in Philadelphia or getting on a flight right away to go to Philadelphia the next day. So this is going to be very entertaining. This is the game I thought might be week 1, and I'm so happy that it's not week 1 because I did not want to see our offense week 1. I think by the time we get to this game, Ben Johnson's offense should be free-flowing by this time, and we should be looking good. So that's going to be a good one. Now we got a doubleheader. Remember, there's a Saturday doubleheader on week 16 on NFL on Fox. Doubleheader, division doubleheader. We got a rematch of the NFC Championship game where the champion Philadelphia Eagles will be flying to the nation's capital to take on the Washington Commanders. And we've got the greatest rivalry in the history of this sport. The Packers will be coming to the lakefront to battle the Bears, in which could be a very important game for the playoff standings. I don't know. It might be wild card. It might be a division clincher game. You never know. This is going to be great. The Bears haven't played the Packers at home in a night game in years. It's usually always in Lambeau Field. So that's going to be interesting. Now, they've also announced that Peacock will be airing an exclusive holiday game week 17 on December 27th. That is 2 days after Christmas. So also from what I've been hearing in the media, Nikhil. So our shoe producer Nikhil said League thinks will be good. League is moving in all their chips on this Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams train, man. But I think that this sets up, from everything I've been hearing, that the Bears and or Eagles Commanders will be playing on Christmas. So it sounds like the Bears will have a Christmas game. We'll see. I don't know. They plan on Black Friday. Maybe they won't be, but that's going to be something we're to see. I think the holiday games the Christmas games get announced on Wednesday, the Netflix Christmas games. So that's going to be interesting to see, man. I'm very, very excited about this. Very, very excited. I'm just ready for football to be back, and I think that this is going to be an amazing season. I am not getting my hopes up for the Bears. You know, this is something that I feel that we did last year where it was just way too much. And I don't want to say way too much because I feel like there were proper expectations. The Bears just didn't do what they need to do. But I think with this year, with Ben Johnson, all the things they've added to the offensive line and things like that. This would be good. I always get nervous for primetime games because I don't like seeing other people talk about my team. Like this, that's just really what it comes down to, man. I don't like other people talking about my team when they don't watch me every week. But this is what happens if you want to be a good team. This is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a real interesting season. We're also kind of see it looks like the NFL is trying to step on college football because this will be the first weekend of college football playoffs. So that's gonna be interesting to see as well, man. Side story. Derek Carr's retired. And if you know anybody from New Orleans or New Orleans Saints fans, they're very excited. I think there's more to this. I don't think he's retired for good. I think this is more of a mutual retirement from what we hear from both parties. He wasn't scheduled to play this year anyway because of his injury. Would not surprise me if this man is on another team next year when he fully recovers. Derek Carr is an interesting case to me because I do not think he was a bad quarterback. I know the Saints fans hate this man, and I understand why they would hate this man. If you're coming off the legacy of Drew Brees and you were looking for a quarterback and you got this guy, I would be upset too. I think he is in the mid-Hall of Fame. That's where I would place Derek Carr, but I hope he does get healthy, and we're going to see where that goes from him, man. But that's all we got for basketball and American football. And now it's time we talk about European football. We're going to bring in the homie Tosin in right now. So we're going to have Soccer for Dummies, man. Of course, you know, getting tuned with Tosin, Shirtless Plantain Show, everywhere you can catch your podcast, man. Tosin, how you feeling today?
Good, man. A lot of weight chopped off my head, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good too, despite the terrible week that the Arsenal have had this week. We were able to get a tie at Anfield on Sunday. Just considering how that game started, and I thought this was going to be embarrassing. I was like, we finna lose like 4-0. This is going to be embarrassing. I like the fight that I saw from them yesterday to be able to get a tie. And if Odegaard would have just pushed that ball a little bit side to the left, we'd have been able to win that game, man. But I'm feeling pretty good, man. But let's talk about the game that was amazing this weekend, El Clásico, between Real Madrid and Barcelona. That was a crazy game. The Barcelona ended up winning 4-3. This was looked like Travis Scott night. He has a Travis Scott sponsored kit. He was in the crowd. You saw Thierry Henry was in the crowd. Terry Crews, who was apparently this nigga's best friend, was in the crowd as well. There's a lot of people there. One, I saw how many people was. First of all, I just saw what the Barcelona gift shop looks like. Bro, look like you going to Macy's, like in downtown Chicago, or like Times Square. That joint got like 3 floors. It looks absolutely ridiculous.
You know, it's crazy. That's not even Barcelona's main stadium. They're fixing New Camp right now. Like, this is just a temporary place where they're playing.
Wow. So, that's not? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is just temporary because they're refixing their old stadium, New Camp. So they should be back there next year or the year after. But yeah, Barcelona, I mean, that game kind of predicted itself. We kind of knew that exactly was going to happen. Like, we saw that in Champions League when they played against Inter. Like, Barcelona will score on you, but you can score on them. But it's more so just like, you know, they got that much more fire and power. I mean, again, like we talked about last week, Lamine Yamal is special. There's nothing to it other than the kid is special. I was just saying on the Shirtless Plantain Show, like, the only way to defend him is the same way you did above the rim. You got to pull the gun out, man. There's no other way to defend him.
100%.
there's no other logical way of trying to defend this kid anymore. He's absurd, but it's wild though. Like, Rafinha's probably gonna win Ballon d'Or this year, more than likely. So yeah, it's been, you know, a good season for Barcelona and a terrible season for Real Madrid. I think that game summed up where both sides are.
Yeah, Real Madrid's got a new coach coming. I think it was confirmed today that Ancelotti will be coach of the Brazil national team. Then they've got Trent Alexander. He's going to be joining them as well. We all know what other things they're trying to plan. They're trying to pull Saliba from us, but, you know, allegedly, Andrea Berta is negotiating a new contract. I'm saying allegedly now because I'm learning about transfer stuff. Nothing is official until it's official, man. But with Barcelona, it looks like they're going to win the double. And one thing when I first started watching a couple months ago that you told me and my homie Serge told me was like, nah, they're the broke boy squad. Like, they just have an amazing academy. So for them to be able to do all of this, and they just play a different brand of football from what I've seen. It feels like no leads are safe. Now, granted, they're not the best defensive team at all. Like, them and Real Madrid. It was like watching an NBA game where it's like final score 160, 155. Like that's just really the vibes it gave off. But compared to how they were last season, and I was watching this thing on Netflix, La Liga All Access, where it really kind of like broke down everything in La Liga last season and just how they had a poor year firing their coach and bringing in the current coach. What to you was the biggest upgrade in these past 12 months to get them to where they are now compared to where they were a season ago?
Hansi Flick's a really, really good coach. He prioritized them being more physical in the summertime. That was kind of like what his main thing was, like, y'all just have to be a lot more tougher. And you can see it. I mean, I still think that high line is very suicidal. But when you got Lamine Yamal, who's a great equalizer, you got Rafinha clicking, Lewandowski, when he was fit, was doing well. Also helps they got really good midfielders as well. Like Pedri's arguably the best midfielder in the world, so that helps out a lot too. Frankie de Jong's also like awake now, starting to become who he is. So they've got good pieces, right? Is now the good pieces are now matched with good coaching. And it's just a little bit of luck too. I think that Real Madrid this year, they were not at the races. They just haven't been there yet. They have a lot to figure out next year. But Real Madrid, Barcelona just took advantage, and it's always going to be those two. Sometimes Atletico Madrid will surprise them, but it's always going to be between those two, like usually every year for the title. So it's just Barcelona's year, and they had a really good coach with really good players, and it just worked itself out.
Definitely, man. This next topic, we ain't got to spend too much time on it because we're gonna preview when we get closer to it. But the Champions League final has been set. Inter Milan edged out Barcelona last week. They will be advancing, and PSG beat my Arsenal in the second leg, and they will be trying to get their first Champions League trophy. What's your just initial thoughts on this matchup? You know, we'll preview in a couple weeks, but what's your initial thought on how this game is going to be viewed?
Low key have PSG finally winning their Champions League title. I think they just have a little bit more going forward than Inter can handle. I also think that their midfield might be a little bit better than Inter's midfield. I just think it's just time for PSG. You know, I think that with the way the world is going right now, like it's just going to be a lot of egg on Mbappe's face. I think that's what the world is trying to show him. Just like, hey, look, man, as great as you are, the world's got to humble you somehow. You know, you're 5 goals away from having the most goals ever in the World Cup history. But guess what? PSG's about to win their first title. You've never lost. You've never beat Mbappe. You've never beat Yamal. So I think, unfortunately for Mbappe, like it's gonna go to the place he doesn't want it to go, which is PSG winning. But again, I'm on the fence because I don't care who wins. I'm just here to see a good game. So if Inter do win, I won't be shocked. But I really have PSG just being more. I just think it's time. I think that's really what it is with them. It's just finally their time.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the watch my first Champions League game. That's going to be interesting to see how that's going to be. The atmosphere is going to be like. But you also got the FA Cup final this Saturday at Wembley Stadium. You got Man City. Man City, even in their quote unquote fall off year, they got a chance to finish. Well, I feel like their chance of finishing number 2 kind of, I don't say came to an end, but took a real blow this weekend with a game they had no business drawing. But they'll be taking up going up against Crystal Palace. Just quick thoughts on that one, man. You know, with the rough year that they've had, all the injuries they've had, finally got Erling Haaland back. Looks like the Kevin De Bruyne is going to be going to another country to play. So what's your thoughts on this matchup in the city that Man City has had?
City, it's very interesting because City fans don't like Pep, and I'm just like, why? Like, yeah, I know Pep's washed right now, but
that's weird. They don't like Pep.
Like, come on, man. That's the best thing that ever happened to you, number one.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been shaky this year. They're also going through a transition phase. Like I said, like I think most teams, there's very few teams who just need tweaks. Most teams need a general like rebuild and just to restructure and retool. And City's one of those teams as well. They still have quality, like, you know, in certain spots. Like obviously they still got Haaland and he's the great equalizer. But against Crystal Palace, I think they just slightly edge against Crystal Palace this weekend. I think they'll beat Crystal Palace. But the hater in me does not want that to happen. I need Crystal Palace to wake up. Like, so, yeah, but I won't be shocked if City wins.
Yeah, the City, I feel like they play a real boring style of football this year, at least. Like, I missed out on the glory years, but even from watching their documentaries, it looked like they play way more exciting than what they play right now. Like, this game, their game is like real watching paint dry. And Crystal Palace has always been a team, at least this year that I've seen it. they're at least competitive, and they'll bite you if you lacking a little bit. But that's one time I've been begging to talk to you about, man. This Europa League conversation, man. We've been having a lot of conversations and like different outlets that have been watching about the legitimacy of the Europa League with having two teams, your Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. They're gonna be playing for the title, but they're the two worst teams that haven't been relegated from the league. And you got some people that are like, oh well, they're gonna have a better season than like say Arsenal because we didn't win any silverware, even though they finished second in Europe. Well, if the bottom three weren't so bad, there would be a legit regulation battle there. But you have some people who say, oh well, you can win the Europa League, but that's just guarantee you a spot in the Europa League next year. But you shouldn't get a Champions League spot. And you also have some people like, oh, it don't get it. It's a trophy, whatever, it saves our season. What's your thought on it? And it's not just a Manchester United fan, but just overall as a football fan on how people should grade the Europa League.
People should just grow up, man. It's the second biggest European title after Champions League. It's still a massive trophy. Most people's teams can't win it. So there's that. It's a gauntlet to go through, trying to get to the final. Yet I haven't lost. The whole crying about, winning Europa League and getting Champions League thing is boring. It started 10 years ago. It was an incentive for people to take the Europa League a lot more seriously because back in the day, like even when United had Sir Alex Ferguson would drop down into the Europa League, we wouldn't care. We would just do dumb shit and just didn't care. But now there's more incentive and it makes people want to actually participate. And that's the point of it. Like you want people to actually show up for this trophy. So you incentivize it. You give people reason to show up. So if you're upset about that, guess what? I don't care. Because it's the rules. Like, it's literally the rules. Like follow the damn rules. Like you win Europa League, you get Champions League. And it's funny because last year United only got to Europa League because we beat City in the FA Cup. And now we more than likely might end up in Champions League because of that FA Cup. So, it's funny how things work. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I understand maybe that it gets people upset and like they're like, oh wow, like you guys are about to scam a trophy. Tough luck, nigga. But what can I say?
Tough luck, nigga. There's always football.
Yeah, there's always football. And it's like, it's hilarious because United right now are so, especially the fan base. And this is why I'm not on social like that. Like, I don't tweet as much as I do anymore. It's because I'm just sitting there watching like a hawk. Like, I'm like that Sting gift, just looking up from the rafters. I'm just like, we all know how bad this Manchester United squad is, right? Like, are they 16th, 17th? No, they're not that position. But at the same time, they're not that much better than 16th and 17th. At most, this is the 11th best play squad. And you have a coach who's now trying to come in and re-identify. And I think that's the problem with sports fans and people in general is like, I think that people don't really have patience for rebuilds, fans of anything. Like it could be sports, it could be your career, it could be your life. And I'm just like, you got to have patience. You got to suffer. I think that you find more fun in the suffering than the success. I don't know, at least for me, because watching United suck has been fun for me. So I'm like, wow, like I've really seen the highs of the highs. Now I'm seeing the worst of the worst. So, it's going to be an interesting game next week because you better not lose to Tottenham. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to expound on anything else. Just don't lose to Tottenham. Don't piss me off and lose to Tottenham.
I don't think anybody wants to lose to Tottenham. Like, first thing that was when I was even looking for a club to root for, literally every person I know who watches this sport said, don't root for Tottenham. Like, that was the first thing. Like, I don't care who you root for, just don't root for Tottenham. What I didn't know was how damn hated the club I do root for. Like, the last week on social, oh my God. Like, even my algorithm, like my Instagram algorithm, I'm an Arsenal fan, and all I see is Arsenal hate reels. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Like, it's been a crazy week with all that. But my question for you on Manchester United, because y'all manager said some things yesterday I kind of felt was real woe is me. And it was one thing about these football managers, they're to me more talkative than the average coach, like American coach. Like I like Mikel Arteta, but I was like, yo, somebody grab this nigga from the podium. But a lot of things he was saying after they lost, it was like me, like if I lost on Madden, yeah, nigga, I'm still better than you. Like that's the real stuff he was saying. But y'all managers like, oh well, if we start bad last year, I'll just walk away. And I'm like, nigga, you're going to get sacked before you walk away. Like, I know you said that, they need to have more talent and things like that. But with the transfer window coming up and with these comments, like, what would you tell a Manchester United fan what type of summer they should expect to have?
again, it's pain, man. Like y'all gotta expect pain. Like it's not gonna be fun. Okay, like this is the squad, and like this is again. I'm not trying to gaslight nobody and say like, yeah, the coach should do better in certain instances, but I'm looking at this team, right? And I'm actually gonna go look it up right now and look at the bench that we had on Sunday, right? And this is somebody who's watched United like religiously since 1995. So I've seen the highs of the highs, right? Like, yeah, we shouldn't be losing to West Ham, but when you're, down 2-0 and you're bringing off two center backs in Lindelof and Maguire, Patrick Dorgu's coming on, Christian Eriksen and Garnacho, and then who else is on the bench? You got a 17-year-old, you got a 20-year-old center back, the backup goalkeeper is 37, and Casemiro you're trying to save for the final. Where in that lineup are you going to get goals? Where in that line, like, because they created chances, right? They created a lot of chances, but they couldn't tuck them away. So just like you're seeing them build out, you're trying to see them like properly like do what they're supposed to do, the coach wants them to do. They're just not good enough to execute that. People are like, oh, Slot came in and won a title with Liverpool. Yeah, because Klopp left a really good team behind, right? And they play the same way. So it's one of these things where I understand fans' impatience, understand their frustration, but you got to have thicker skin, dude. Like, this is not going to be fun. United haven't ever really like tore down the club and like really started anew, because what happens is the players will now end up, the players will end up basically getting the manager fired, right? That's basically what happens. And then you keep the same players. Like, no. We got to get rid of like at least 16 players. Like, there's at least 16 players that I would get rid of right now, but that's not going to happen. So it's not going to be a fun summer because I don't think you're going to get everything you want, but you have to at least get a good striker. That's the first thing. Someone who can put away the goals. You have to get a midfielder who can like control play. And that's where you kind of like try to see everything else from there. But again, for United fans, it's going to be pain. That's the only thing I can say is going to be pain, a lot of it. So you better sit there and, drink your Metamucil.
Well, I'm getting ready for my first transfer window, and I've been, I compile like a Twitter list of different, who are the best, media people in the sport. Like I got that with every sport. I got my NFL list, my NBA list. I know which ones to listen to, which one not to listen to. Same thing with football. I'm starting to learn about it. And one thing that we've been hearing, well, the Arsenal's first signing, Martin Zubimendi, came out, was confirmed. Who my man who do the Here We Go? His name is escaping. Yeah, he the one who first said it, and then ESPN confirmed that Arsenal actually confirmed it to ESPN this morning. Now, granted, still got to wait for him to hold the jersey up, is what I've continuously been told. But that's a sign right there. We're hearing that Andrea Berta is choosing between Gyökeres and Benjamin Sesko, who wants to go after, but leaning towards Gyökeres. There was also reports that they had submitted a proposal to Sporting. Then we heard that wasn't true. So it's a whole bunch of words that we're hearing. How quickly do you expect this transfer to move for not just Arsenal, but just in general? Because it's going to be broken up in halves this year with the Club World Cup, and they even moved the time up a couple hours this year.
I think everybody's going to be a little bit more proactive. I think that people are going to be trying to find deals. I won't be shocked if some deals already just wrapped in hush-hush, but yeah, I think a lot of coaches now, they want their players signed immediately so they can get to the practice field and like get everything rolling. So I think this summer it's going to be fun because so many teams need so many like positions, but not everybody has money. Everyone is broke, but everybody wants, everybody wants the dead stock Jordan. It's like, yo, you don't got dead stock Jordan. You don't got that money.
Right.
So you got to go on Grail. So now it's like you're trying to find gems in the thrift store. So that's going to be the most interesting thing about this transfer window for me is like everybody needs, well, I would say most teams need upgrades, but not everybody has that much money. So how are you going to do it? How are you going to get creative? So, yeah.
Yeah, even with the money, we've been hearing mixed reports. Like, it's much different from like ML. Not even to me. From what I heard, the pace is more MLB style. Like it takes a little bit sometimes. Like I know Ohtani didn't sign for like 2 months. I never forget about 2019. Oh my God, when Bryce Harper and Manny Machado free agents, I was in hell for about 4 months. Manny Machado's going to White Sox. Manny Machado's going to White. I'm up his glove leaked, and they was like, "Oh, it's White Sox colors." Just for this nigga to go to San Diego because the White Sox didn't want to give him $25 extra million. So I heard it's like kind of to that thing, which I'm looking for. But we even hear differences on how much money the Cronkies are trying to spend. One outlet says $200 million, the other says $300 million. But then we have similar like, oh well, Gyökeres is in the bank, Nico Williams. Basically, I don't know what to expect, and I'm just really interested to see how this first window is gonna go, man. But last thing, man, what can people expect on this week's episode of Shirley's Plantain Show?
The weekend review, we literally just recorded it. We just talked about everything that happened over the weekend, all the teams and all that stuff. So it's gonna be exciting because we talked about Trent, and I can't wait for people to hear what we think about what happened with Trent. Which I'll say this right now, Liverpool fans, you suck, but it's neither here nor there. But yeah,
very, very classless. I tweeted that yesterday. I said, very classy move. And somebody tweeted me, Arsenal literally has rapists in midfield. I'm like, yeah, when you see me root for him, then you can say something. I was like, I don't even call him by his name, brother. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with y'all booing this man. And yeah, it's just nasty work, man. So I'm definitely gonna be listening to that. Check that out, man. So yeah, man, get in tune with Tosin, get in tune with the Shirley's Plantain Show, and we gonna holler at you next week, bro.
all right, man, be easy.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
We are getting ready for the NFL draft, not NFL, but NBA draft lottery, which is coming up in about 5 minutes. Here, I've got my iPad set up. I'm gonna be giving my live reaction to this. If you're watching this, look, this is either gonna be the quickest reaction show you've ever seen in your life, or we're gonna have some excitement. So let's, as you can see on the screen right now, got the new Pope Leo, Southside Zone. Let's pull this up. Shout out to Kill bringing this up. This comes from Cody Westland. He is somebody who is really, really good to follow on Bulls Twitter. He said the Bulls have a 1.7 chance of landing the number 1 pick and an 8.04 chance of moving into the top 4. Now, here's the important thing right here. They could get any of the picks 1 through 4 or 12 to 14, but 12th pick is the overwhelming favorite, 85%. If you don't hear the Bulls' name within the first 3 call reveals, you'll know they moved up, man. I'm going to tweet this out for everybody not watching right now that we're going to do a review. If y'all got any questions, anything, man, this is going to be more of a kind of a stream thing right here, man. So we're going to wait and see how this happens. This is not something. One thing I like about the NBA draft lottery, they don't really drag this out like the NFL drags out everything. Like the NFL draft, the first pick don't even get drafted until 45 minutes in it. So this to me and Pav are arguing about, this is a very important moment. The NBA owes us one, and by owes us one, I mean Bulls fans. This is something where we ain't had talent that's actually watchable in a long time. Excuse me while I'm tweeting this link out. Y'all can see the draft letter. So everybody, if you watching, tell everybody, Tony, we're about to see how long I'm gonna be on this thing right now. I'm either gonna be making dinner or we're gonna be sitting there for about 30 minutes, man. But I think this is something where the Bulls have to get a top 4 pick. Like, I think this is something where you don't need to get the first pick because I feel like there's a lot of talent in this draft, top 4, especially in the top 3. But this is, you have to get Cooper Flag. Give me something. Like, we don't want to see this man in Washington. We don't want to see this man in San Antonio or Brooklyn. Like, I know Brooklyn is in New York, but let's be real. Nobody in the city of New York, in the state of New York, cares about the Brooklyn Nets. The Bulls need this. With everything happening, I'm tired of being in the play-in game year after year after year. Even if the Bulls are still sorry next year, which would they'll probably still be, I need something to watch. You know what I'm saying? I need something to get excited about. This fan base needs something excited about. Pav said earlier, this is also a basketball city. Yes, football is king in Chicago, but it's also a basketball city. We all grew up on the Michael Jordan years. If you are at least 30, I'm going to say at least 33. If you're at least 33, you at least remember the last 3 championships from the Bulls. And even if you're not, you remember the D Rose years. As short as they were excited. You know, the only post-Jordan Eastern Conference Finals trip that this franchise has had was because of Derrick Rose and his MVP season. I don't know if Cooper Flag is going to be this can't-miss prospect. That's something we still have to find out. But that's something I want to find out. I'd rather that than watching Kobe White and Josh Giddey and all these picks that AK has drafted and they haven't done anything. That's something right now that we need. I'm looking at the clock right now. We're 47 seconds away from the draft lottery. This is why I pushed the show back 30 minutes. Because I was like, you know what? I'm going to be watching this draft lottery anyway. I might as well be doing it live to see exactly what's going to happen. I'm looking here at Windhorse, Malika Andrews. Chine on ESPN right now. So if you are in the comments, leave me something. You got a question. Yeah, I need this. As a Bulls fan, a lot of people don't know Bulls my second favorite team. It doesn't feel like it because you don't see me tweeting about them because I'm boycotting and I haven't watched a full Bulls regular season game in 3 seasons. In fact, I've only watched one game of theirs in the last 3 seasons. That was that playing game last year. Not even this year. I didn't watch the game this year. Last year in Miami where they won, and then no, against Atlanta and they won. Then they lost in Miami again. Here we go with the draft lottery hype video. You got LeBron, Jordan, Magic, Kobe, Larry Bird, all the top talents in NBA history. Kobe again. Oh, this is the game winner on Phoenix. I remember this is a funny story. I was in high school when that game when it happened. I was. It sounds even funnier because I was a kid. I was on punishment. I wasn't supposed to be watching that game, but I was watching that game and I almost ran through the crib off what happened, man. We see 85 Ewing. That's what we need. We need them to rig this like they rigged 85 for the Knicks. I need this. We don't need any of these other bum franchises to be getting Cooper Flag, bro. Help me out. Help me out. We're going to see how this goes, man. So, like I said, if you're watching, tune in. We're going to see how this goes here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Definitely a shorter show today as we get closer towards the end of the basketball season. The shows will be shorter. June is a really dead month for the NFL. So yeah. Oh, it's in Chicago. I did not know that. The lottery's here. The lottery's in Chicago. Cooper Flag is here. I don't know if y'all saw that. Let me see. We got another tweet here. Okay, well, it got confirmed. Bears Eagles was confirmed by Amazon Prime just a second ago. But yeah, I didn't know that. Dylan Harper, he is the son of 5-time NBA champion former Bull Ron Harper. But I did not know Chicago. So there was a tweet earlier today when the Bulls tweeted out their lottery video where Duke tweeted Chicago, said you should draft a Blue Devil. Very interesting. It's at the McCormick place. It's at the McCormick place. And we got it right here. Shams, Jay Billis, Kendrick Perkins, Bob Myers, Kevin Nagandi right now, man. We're going to. Okay, so Christmas game. Chiefs are playing the Broncos on Christmas. That's one of the Christmas games that just leaked. Not leaked, but NFL Prime just tweeted out. Shout out to our former castmate, Mikey, in the chat hitting us up with this. They're saying reveal in 15 minutes. 15-minute reveal. So we got to find some stuff to do for 15 minutes. Yeah, man, let's see what else we can talk about. Let's talk about Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag, I think, is somebody who is a really good player. I don't know if he's this franchise guy. I'm kind of not keen on American white players. We ain't seen anybody be cold since Larry Bird. So I don't know exactly if his game can translate to the NBA. But with the history that the Bulls have had, I think this is something that you want to at least, take a shot on. So we're looking at all the percentages right here. I'm going to be so mad. So mad if this goes to the Utah Jazz. Honestly, what's the point of giving this pick to the Utah Jazz? Like, what do you gain from that? Nobody cares about the Utah Jazz. They never really did care about the Utah Jazz. They don't need this. We need this. Bulls have a 1.7% chance to win a lottery. I think it was 1.9% chance when we won the D Rose lottery. The most exciting non-Bulls fit for Cooper Flag, I think, will probably be, and I know I just said this a minute ago, we don't want him there. It will probably be San Antonio. It will probably be San Antonio because of everything they've got over there. They got a new coach. You got Victor Wembanyama. He's going to be going into year 3. You got Stephon Castle, who just won Rookie of the Year, and you got De'Aaron Fox, who's going to be coming in a full season. To me, that's if you take away the teams that now don't include the Bulls, that's number one. We don't need the Philadelphia 76ers to be getting any more picks. They jagged it. They had their chance with the process. They screwed it up. Let's leave us alone. The reason I don't think this is going to happen because nothing ever happens well for the Bulls. Nothing ever happens well for us, and that's why I don't think anything good is going to happen from this. But I do think the Spurs will be the best fit. I also think, too, that if you look at the other players in this draft, you got Ace Bailey, you got Ron Harper's kid. I think those would be two really good picks as well. But if you see if Philadelphia loses, if not top 6, and then that pick goes to OKC. That's another tough one right there. Like OKC is getting pick after pick after pick. Charlotte got a 14% chance to win the lottery. They lost 63 games last year. You got New Orleans 12.5% chance. New Orleans is another team they don't deserve another draft pick. Like y'all niggas got way too many picks. Shout out my cousin Chad. We need Bulls to get lucky because we need Chicago. Yeah, I think that just look at everything in the Bulls. Because like if you don't get a top 3 pick, like let's not even just circle it down to just Cooper Flag. If you don't get a top 3 pick, where do you go from it? You got Kobe White. He's got like a year left on his contract. He's gonna get paid a lot of money if you do pay him. You know what I'm saying? He said, Damien, teams begging to draft a white boy from Duke. This ain't the America I know. Damien, no North Carolina fan, of course, he said it. But you're right. Honestly, you're right. I do not. We're potentially going to build the Caucasian Big 3 with Cooper Flag, Matas Buzelis, and Josh Giddey if that happened. But I'm desperate as a Bulls fan. I just want to be able to watch my team again. Like, it's depressing that I can't watch them. One, I can't watch a period because I don't know what they do in the Chicago Sportsnet. Shout out to our guy, Jason Goff. I don't know what they're doing that network where you got to pay to watch 3 very bad teams in the Bulls and the White Sox and the Blackhawks. And at least the Blackhawks got kind of a dart to watch. But yeah, I think that for the Bulls fans, I don't think that this will be a better, boost to any fan base that's available right now outside of the Bulls. We just gotta, we saw that on Denver KC on Christmas on Prime. Looking for see what they're gonna put out another Christmas game today. We just responding to whatever right now as we waiting. We got 10 more minutes before we do this. Trey Johnson from Texas, he's 4th best VC edge coach from Baylor, number 5. Those are top 5, along with Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, and of course Cooper Flag. Those are top 5 projected to go there, man. But yeah, Bulls fans just need this. We need this more than anything. I don't think that Spurs got too many good players right now. Nobody cares about the Washington Wizards. Brooklyn's an interesting team because I could see him going there, but that city is Knicks crazy, especially right now. Nobody cares about that. Something just tells me, I could be wrong. Some tells me that the Utah Jazz are going to get the number 1 pick. I don't know why. Something just feels like that. And I don't want to go off these tweets of, oh, Duke said this. I did that with the Khalil Mack comeback thing. I was like, oh, what they mean by that? By the way, I do believe that the drafts are rigged. I 100% believe drafts are rigged. I think they rigged in 85 for Patrick Ewing and the Knicks. I think they rigged it in 2003 for LeBron James. And I 100% think they rigged it for us in 2008 to get Derrick Rose. It was just too great of a story. This one ain't rigged again. Mike, Coach K, even though he don't coach them no more, Coach K is from Chicago. Yeah, Bleacher Nation Bulls said the Pope about to work his magic. Yes, we need some magic, man. We need some magic. But that's gonna be something that's interesting. I wonder how many. I'm gonna be random right here. I'm gonna be random. I wonder how many Christmas NFL games is gonna be this year. I think it's like 3. I don't know. We're gonna see. We got Sacramento Kings. They have a 0.8 chance. Look at all these bad teams. Wizards, Pelicans, Sixers, Nets, Raptors. That's a surprise one. The Mavs, even that's something. Now that would piss me off. I just thought about that. That would piss me off. You cannot let Nico Harrison and the murder that he committed allow them to get the number 1 pick. They got the same chances. They got 1.8. We got 1.7. So basically the same chance. I think last year, number 1 pick was the Hawks, and they had around the same percent chance as the Bulls did. And they even went to the play-in last year as well. Man, this is going to be something where I need this. I need this more than I can explain to y'all, man. But let's talk a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit of Bears. I know I can ramp on that while we wait for this to go on. I think the Bears' first game of the season is going to be against the Lions. I think it makes more sense for them to have the Ben Johnson return be early in the season. Sunday night football, it just feels like a Sunday night game. That just feels like something. I don't think they'll do it on Thanksgiving. That could be an option, but since they have actually, it's not. They're not gonna play on Thanksgiving because the Bears playing on Black Friday, so it won't be Thanksgiving. That to me makes the most sense to have that there or have his return for them coming. But you got these games confirmed already. I think that the Bears for sure going to get a primetime game. For sure going to get a primetime game week 1. It just kind of feels like it. Last year, they let us off easy with the Tennessee Titans. And even though that game was anything furthest thing from easy, we saw how that game ended with that Tyreek Stevenson pick 6, and Caleb did not play good in his first game. The offense in general. That game, when we saw that game, I was like, yeah, we might have a problem here. Like, I didn't want to overreact because it was week 1. And I was like, it's early in the season, but sometimes you can just tell. And I look like these play calls are way too bad for it to be week 1. Like, execution can be one thing because the NFL doesn't care about, preseason anymore. So they're going to do what they're going to do in the first month of the season, but the players were just off. So I do not think they're going to give them an easy pass, especially because this season in general, it's not an easy schedule. On paper, things can change. Teams cannot meet expectations. Players can get injured. That always happens. But on paper, it just looks like it's going to be a tough season. You got the Chiefs playing on Christmas again against the Broncos. I hope these Christmas games are better than they were last year. Even as excited as I was to see Christmas games again, they were not the best games. They really weren't. Like, the Chiefs blew out the Steelers. The bright spot in that Ravens game was the Beyonce halftime show. It was really nothing else that was exciting about that, man. But after this, we got Knicks and Celtics coming up. Knicks and Celtics game 4 going on. We don't need to live in a world with the Knicks in the NBA Finals. And this is I have a lot of Knicks fans, homies, and I know they're starving. They're foaming at the mouth for the Knicks to make it there. I just don't want to live in a world where they are there because Knicks, not just Knicks fans, New York sports fans are extremely loud people. Well, New Yorkers in general are here, but especially when they get their sports teams. And I don't want to hear. I saw somebody say that people hate Knicks fans because we're the last fans of the actual team, and I 1,000,000% disagree with that. Our guy in the kids, he's leaving the city for 2 weeks. I know it's probably wild in the city already because Knicks fans celebrate game 1 like they won the NBA Finals. But this is a big game. Two big games tonight. Two big games tonight, man. I want to know what the reason is we have to wait so long for this draft review. Now, they better not go to commercial again when we get ready to enter the top 3 because the game is supposed to start in a couple. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really interested to see how that's going to be. So back on ESPN right now. See how many minutes we got left. Chicago. It's a nice picture of Chicago right here. Jason Tatum was the 3rd pick of the 20. Yeah, we know that. What happened to who was the number 1 pick in 2017? Played for the Orlando Magic. What's my man's name? I forgot his name. But where's that nigga at? We ain't okay. It looks like we're getting ready for the draft order. They're showing all the draft prospects. Donovan Mitchell likely game time decision for game 5. Cooper Flag sitting there. Honestly, I can see Cooper Flag walking down the street, and I wouldn't know that nigga. So Markelle Fultz. Thank you, Nikhil. Markelle Fultz. What happened to Markelle Fultz? I haven't seen that nigga in a long time. Best chance for pick. Number 1 pick. Jazz 14%. Wizards 14%. Hornets 14%. Pelicans 12.5%. Others with a chance for number 1 pick. We see the Bulls right there at 1.7. We're gonna find out very, very quickly. We're gonna find out very, very quickly what's gonna happen. I got this on 2 screens right now. Let's see. We got who's representing the Bulls. Let's see. We got Keon Ellis representing the Kings. Matas, my boy Matas. Let's be the lucky guy here. Let's see. Ronaldo Blackman is representing the Mavs. We got I don't know who this nigga is. Tumani Kamara. The Dream, Hakeem Olajuwon representing the Houston Rockets. Let's see who else we got. He looked fed up. He looks super fed up. We don't need the Rockets to get it either. They are actually playing well. They got something else. It said Dallas knew better not to send Nico. All right. See how this is gonna go, people. Who's representing the Spurs? Mitch Johnson, new head coach. Mitch Johnson, like one of them creative players on live on 2K when you like in the season 2035. Masai Ujiri, president basketball operations for the Nets. I mean for the Raptors. Jordy Fernandez, the Nets head coach. Breaking news. I did not know who the Nets head coach was. Jared McCain, TikTok sensation, representing the Sixers. My boy Zion Williamson is representing the Pelicans. He was first pick 2019 draft. Damn, Zion been in the league 6 years? Probably because he ain't played that much. Well, I forgot how long he's been in the NBA. He's been in the NBA for a long time. He got that Michael Jordan earring. Very nasty behavior by Zion. Man, we need this so bad, bro. I can't put into words how badly the Bulls need this. Charles Lee, another head coach I did not know. Hornets head coach. They need to do a who we play for head coaches. Bub Carrington, Wizards guard, he's representing the Wizards. Ashley Smith, Jazz co-owner, is representing the Jazz. And here they come up here with the envelopes. Oh, God. I just know we're going to get some bullshit pick like pick 13. I can feel it in my bones. Now I'm going to be off this stream in 5 minutes. I please. Y'all ever seen that? He said, God, if you hear me, I need so badly. Just give me a top 3 pick. I don't even need a flag. I want it. Just give me a top 3 pick. Like, that's all I need. Yeah, I'm actually nervous right now. I haven't been nervous for anything Bulls related in a long time. So Mark Tatum, the Bulls. Here we go. 14th pick is who is it? San Antonio Spurs. Out of 14th pick. I love how they zoom in on people when they get. So who's 13th? 13th pick. Atlanta Hawks. We just got one more pick to get past. Pick 12. Who's pick 12? Pick 12. Oh my God. All right. That ended quickly. Bulls are picking 12. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are stuck in basketball purgatory. There's nothing else I can see here. Damian laughing and go to hell. Dallas moved up. Look, I'm gonna see this whole thing out. This is ridiculous, man. I'm so damn pissed. This is ridiculous. We are Raptors pick 9. So the Spurs have moved up into the top 4. Let's see. Pick 8. Nets a pick 8. Yeah, man, the Bulls are pick 12. I think that's some bullshit. Pelicans a pick 7. Look at Zion. He looks shitty, just like I look right now. Pick 6, the Wizards. So the 76ers have bumped into the top 4. It's finna go to a team that he ain't got no business going to. It's what's finna piss me off. Pick 5. The Jazz are pick 5. So the Hornets have moved up into the top 4. So the top 4 is the Mavericks, the Sixers, the Spurs, and the Mavericks. This is some bullshit. Well, I'm not finna wait for another commercial break because I don't really care who gets the pick unless they're doing it right now. I was joking the Bulls going to get picked 12, but I'm actually very upset. But anyway, that's all we got for today on another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I just know Flag is going to go to Philly or Dallas, and it's going to piss me off. Yeah, man, like purgatory. And honestly, it don't even matter if we was bad because look at the teams on that top 4. Like, y'all be mad if I was Utah. Like, they're not even in there, man. Like, they just need to abolish the draft lottery, man. Anyway, that's all we got for you today. It's your boy Scott. You know to follow me at BarbChairScott, all social media platforms. Follow Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. Follow HB Media, HB Media TV on Twitter, and at HB Media on Instagram. Follow the show at INGHY Show on Instagram. Man, subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. Whole different tiers, man. If you subscribe to any of the $5 tiers or the $10 tier, you get 20% off on your first order at the Barbershop Network shop. That is bcnetshop.com. And also, we have a new out right now for 7 Night the Hallis. It is a Caleb Williams Game of Thrones inspired t-shirt. Get that right now. And one more topic, one more comment. Nico in the chat said, if the Mavs get the number 1 pick, was Nico right? He might have the last laugh. Honestly. You get Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis out that trade. You still got Kyrie. I think they'll look at that a lot differently, man. I'm gonna go. Let me think about all the teams I root for. I really only got 2. My 2 football teams, the Bears and the Arsenal. That's it. If Arsenal don't sign a striker this year, they're gonna join the mediocrity of teams I already root for, and it might just be me. It might just be me, man. So anyway, I'll be back on Wednesday on Patreon like I always am. To do our Patreon show, but I'm gonna have a special 79th and Hallis live stream on Wednesday night. Me and JR Bang be filling in for my brother Flows. We're gonna go over the entire Bears schedule live at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Barbershop Network, man. So yeah, we'll holler at y'all then, and of course we'll holler at y'all on Friday, man. Whole crew will be back on Friday, and Mariano will be back on Friday as well. So we'll holler at y'all, man. We out.